We are live. Hey guys, Ted Bogert, first show of the day, unless you count me singing, which I don't think anybody wants to count me singing. I am excited to bring on Megan Fink. Megan, welcome to the TED Show.
Hi, I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to learn about you. I'm excited for everybody else to learn about you. And I'm excited for you to be part of the home team. So welcome to truly the best team ever. It's the most amazing place to work, if you want to call it that. You know, just an amazing place to be. So I'm very happy that you're here. All right, so I'm just looking to make sure I can see comments, and yes, I can. So we are golden. All right. I don't know if you were able to share it, but I'm sure.
Hey guys,
there you go. That's me.
Comment if I can. So we are.
All right, let's get started.
Let's do it. All right, so
super excited to be here.
Let's learn about you. You know, my first introduction to you, I had heard that we were bringing somebody on down in our Miami market. And then I saw the video of you getting out of the car. And of course, Ronnie G is a big video guy. He's an inspiration. He's awesome to work with. So before the car, so we'll talk about prior to taking the driver's seat, what were you doing? To give us a little bit of information about you, a little background.
Yeah, so here's like the 2-minute Megan Fink little spiel. So I'm still far away from home, but I feel like I'm the closest to home that I could be. So essentially, I'm Costa Rican. So soy tica, pura vida, hablo español, the whole gamut. So I moved to the US when I was old. And I lived in mostly, cold predominant states, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, New York. And most recently, I was in the DC metro area. I lived in Tysons Corner, Virginia. And there was a trip that I did to Colombia about 2 years ago now that, really put me in my driver's seat and aligning myself with a purpose. So I was in Cartagena, Medellin, and I just enjoyed myself so much with such little things. Going to the bakery, getting cheesy bread, pan de queso is what we call it.
Yum.
And I was having the time of my life just doing these little tasks that when I was living at home in the DC area, I was not having that same enjoyment, of my life. So that's when I really reevaluated what I was doing with myself, the point that I was in my life. I realized, now I'm an adult. I can take the driver's seat of my life. What are you going to do? You're not at your most ultimate happy place. How are you going to make that happen? So once you start thinking things, you start manifesting them, right? So I always came to Miami, visiting with friends, the South Beach thing, boating, all of that. And every trip when we had to go home, we always extended it for 1 day more. And I always like, oh my God, why do I have to leave? I don't want to leave. So that's when I realized Miami needs to be my next place. I can be with my Latin culture. I love being outside, rollerblading, paddleboarding, the whole gamut. So I'm your typical Miami girl. So once I started thinking this, I started testing it. And then that's where the opportunity came with my last employer to come to the Miami area to open up the market. So I did just that. And that's how I ended up here in Miami. And now I feel there forever. People tell me, you know more about Miami than I do, and I was born here.
What is it about Miami? Is it the nightlife? Is it the food? I mean, I love Miami. I think Miami is one of my favorite places to be. It's just so alive all the time is how I feel. What is it about Miami that you love?
I think for me, it's the culture. Like I feel at home. I can speak Spanish all day long. I'm a tropical baby, so when people are sweating outside saying it's too hot, I'm like, oh, I love this. Yes. So that, and I'm an active person. So, here it's nice about 90% of the time. So I can go rollerblading, paddleboarding, swimming. So I feel like the whole Miami aura really fits who I am.
So tell me, I agree. I mean, I don't do any of those action verbs, no INGs, no bleeding or whatever you said, no exercising, but I do like to watch people. And Miami is a great place to watch people and see the culture in action. Tell me about the opportunity with Freedom. You are in a position there similar, very similar to Miami. We have the same title, I believe. And so talk about that opportunity. How did that come up? And then what was it about this particular opportunity that you said, all right, I'm going to give this a whirl. I think I can do this?
Absolutely. So I think, in any business line, you always network, with your colleagues, peers, if you want to call it competitors, but you're always in the same circles to learn from each other, pick each other's brain, and just see how the different cultures are and different things vibe. So, I came across the home team. I went to an event at Novaco that Ronnie and Joe we're putting together, and I'm a big supporter of my colleagues. So waiting, and I said, you know what? It's right next to my house. That's the least thing I can do is show up. So I'm also part of NAREP, which is the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. I'm on the board of the group. So I always, our other lending partners show support. So that's how that relationship started. And Freedom's sponsor of NAREP. So obviously I interacted with Joe, Arlene, and different things. So I started to meet the home team, different team members. And, I think just culture is huge. For me, I need to mesh with who I am as a person, for me to have the autonomy to be who I want to be, and a team that's going to give me the tools to elevate me to be the best that I can be. So that's how that happened. And then here we are.
It's fascinating because I think that if you're, which you obviously are, you have that entrepreneurial spirit. The one thing about the home team that I love, there's many things, but the fact that they encourage that spirit, they encourage creativity and thinking outside the box, and really becoming an ambassador in your community. And I think that's so important. It's very forward thinking for a lending company, a loan company, to think like that, I feel like. So I'm glad that they brought.
Not everybody has that mindset. So it's definitely unique to us here at the home team, that entrepreneurial spirit, but then also, like walking the talk, giving you the microphone, the platform, whatever it is that you want to do to take yourself to the next level.
What did you do before the home team? What was the
I had a similar position at another lender, business development manager. I've always been good at building and developing relationships, and also being a liaison between people. If I don't have the answer, I'm not going to tell you that I do, but I am going to tell you that I'm going to point you in the right direction to the person that can provide you that right answer. So that's how I think I've been able to be successful in my relationships, because there's a sense of authenticity with me. I'll definitely tell you off the bat, I don't know everything, and all the time. And I always say, I appreciate you thinking of me. I'm not the right person, but I am going to find you the right person. So I think in that aspect of being a liaison between people, it's been what's helped me, get to where I am at now.
You're obviously a networker. So a lot of people are afraid of that word. And also a lot of people do it really badly. So what are some of the pet peeves when you go in? I know I can spot a new networker or a really bad networker a mile away by their interactions with the crowd. What are some of the pet peeves? Some of the things that you wish people wouldn't do when they're networking? Because when you're out and about, you're building relationships. We go to a lot of events, parties, happy hours, lunch and learns. There's so much that we have to do. And so we get to see people interact and how they do, and they don't do it well. So any words of advice for somebody, maybe some things you should or shouldn't do when you're out networking?
Yeah, definitely. I would start with what you should do. So for example, when I knew a handful of people. Luckily through NAREP, I've met, some of the people here that I'm in the board with now, but I didn't know that many people. So I literally got on Eventbrite and looked up real estate events that were going on. So a tip that I would give people who shy away from networking because they don't know anyone is get out of your comfort zone. That's what you have to do. If you are in the same circle all the time, you're not growing, you're not elevating yourself. So it's just ripping off that band-aid. Look up groups around your area, show up. And then the people who are the seasoned people in the groups, they can spot that you may be new and they're going to come to you and loop you in and introduce you to people. That's something that I do within our NAREP events because it's easy to socialize with the people that you know and, everything like that. But I purposely try to sit at tables of people I don't know so I can meet new people. And then also me being on the board, I know everybody. So if I see someone that may be looking at their phone or not connected, I'll make a purpose to go and say, hey, come with me. Let me introduce you to some people. So for, the people who don't like networking to know that the people who do it a lot, we're here to help because we were that person one day. So just rip off the Band-Aid, do it because meeting new people is what takes you to new places and opens up new doors.
Agreed. I love it. Yes, exactly. I think focusing on that and then looking, if we could all as senior, I'm senior, but older networking people with experience, if we could take some of those other people under the wing, like people helped us, it would be great. I try to do the same thing. If I see somebody who's struggling at a networking event, I'll invite them over or introduce them to people. I mean, guys, that is planting seeds 101. So you should really get out there. Megan's 100% right. Don't come from a competitive spirit. Come from a collaborative spirit, so you can help people out. I want to ask you about realtor and real estate relationships are really our lifeblood in our industry. What do you do different when you are building and maintaining relationships? I think anybody can go to a networking event, hand out a business card, say I'm going to call you, and then bug the heck out of them until they don't want to talk to you anymore. But you have to be able to build a real relationship with people. What do you do? How do you build that, and how do you maintain it? Because that's really the key. It's one thing when you meet someone and you connect. It's another thing doing business with them and maintaining the relationship.
Right. So I feel like this day and age is so much easier, with social forums, so many tools to stay in touch with people. But for me, it's to connect people on a personal level. At the end of the day, you do business with people you like and you trust. And if I don't show you my personal side where we can find common ground, we're never going to take our relationship to the next level, which often leads to, doing business together. So, you can't just talk to people about loans and here's the FHA stuff. No, people want to know who Megan is as a person, what she does, what her interests are. So now with Facebook, and I use LinkedIn a lot also to build my relationships. And LinkedIn is a professional platform, but today people still want to know who Megan Fink of Freedom Mortgage is. So it's showing people authenticity and caring about them and adding value. I think that's the biggest thing. People are always to the people that bring value to the table. So that's where I always try with, realtor partners, or if I'm looking to build relationships with loan originators, is what value can I bring to you that's going to elevate you and want you to be associated with me. So that's the way I try to think of it.
I think that's strong. I know that's strong because that is really the successful way to do it. If you are building relationships based on sales, which a lot of people do, they actually don't. I feel like people in our industry, on our lending side, I'll speak from, I watch them and they're all about the deal. They're all about what have you done for me lately and the referral, and they don't understand why it's not coming to them right away. And when I'm coaching LOs or loan officers, or I'm talking to anybody out there, the most important thing is building that relationship and not having an expectation right away of a deal. They have to, like you said it right. You have to know and trust people before you're going to do business with them. And if I just met you at a networking event and you're mad at me because I didn't send you a referral the next day, you are doing this all wrong. So I think that what we do as a team is really superior. We go out, we network, we meet people, we get involved in the community. We say what we do, what we say we're going to do, and we really do get involved. Like you all are immersed in the Miami community. We're immersed in Orlando up here. We're just really part of the community, and it's not just a face value kind of thing. Let's talk about the added value really
And
fast.
people can
Go ahead.
tell
Go ahead.
right away when you care about them genuinely, or if you're just trying to do something out of it. So that authenticity, I think it's the biggest component. Being authentic with what you're doing, your motives, and commit to what you're going to say. If you tell somebody, hey, I'm going to come help you out with this, do it. If you're going to tell someone, I'm going to follow up with an email about this, do it. I think those are the basic things that more than you would believe fall under the cracks. It's just people, owning what they're going to do.
I have people that, hold on, I've got to bring myself back on. Ronnie G would be like, Ted, you're not producing very well today. I've had people that will try to emulate like this show or do something. When we do video, it seems like somebody else in the industry does video. So I'm all about collaborating, helping. If you think you can do what I do, great. But I always tell people, do what you do great. Don't worry about me. Don't look at what Megan's doing if you're in the same position with her at a different company, or if you're in the same position with her in a different industry. Do what you do best. You can take some bits and pieces of it, but I think so many people just want to copy and hope for the best, and nobody's Megan Fink. They're not going to be able to do Megan Fink any better than Megan Fink does Megan Fink. So
Yeah.
I just, go ahead.
No, I agree with you. And I have people that I look up to, mentors, or just people that are at a level above me. And I always try to surround myself with people who are doing more than what I'm doing. Like, I always want to be the dumbest person in the room, because then I'm learning. If I get to the point where, I'm the one that knows it all, that's only going to hurt me. So I always look at people that are doing more and what I may consider better. And, a little bit, but at the end of the day, it needs to come through the Megan form. It can't be Julia's, footprint that I'm just throwing out there, because people are going to know sound authentic. She just copied and pasted that. So nothing wrong with getting bits and pieces you have to make it your own.
So tell me, a lot of people always give me a hard time because I dive into business and I don't get enough personal. So tell me a couple of things about you that we might not know. You're in the food, to me, one of the best foodie places on the planet. So favorite food. I had somebody actually ask me that.
Favorite food, and I am a foodie, so I love food. I love lomo saltado, so that's Peruvian food. That dish, I could literally eat it every day,
What's
never get tired of it. Yeah, it's that good. And my favorite fruit are mangoes.
Nice.
I love.
You're in the right place for that too, aren't you?
Yeah, you could literally go to Miami and get mangoes, spiced up. For me, recipe, it's lemon, salt, and tahini. Mix all that to perfect afternoon snack. The people who know me know that I love being active and into fitness. So if anyone wants to check out new gyms with me, try new workouts, I am game for that all day long. And yeah, you can also catch me on my rollerblades in South Beach more than often. I find that therapeutic. I've actually been listening to audiobooks now. That's a new thing. I'm like, no more Netflixing. Let's feed the brain some actual valuable information. So I've been listening to my audiobooks as I rollerblade, and I rollerblade around 16 miles. So that takes me about an hour and a half. So I've gotten really good time to plug that in while I do it.
Wow. I was going to ask you what you're doing. So obviously you picked up audiobooks, but what are you doing? What are you doing to keep focused and positive? Because I think a lot of people, I look at this as an opportunity, lots of opportunity we have right now while it's all shut down. But it's still sometimes hard when you're sequestered and quarantined to stay positive. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I definitely had my days, and I actually moment last week where it was my first week with the home team, such a great opportunity, and especially during these times. But I was feeling worn out, day to day pandemic stuff, but out of it because I'm thinking term, big picture. Like, this is temporary. So whenever I fall into those little pits, I talk myself out of it, just reminding myself, this isn't a forever thing. This is temporary. And then also just thinking about how blessed I am with everything that I have. And then just staying physically and mentally busy. So I'm a very routine like person. I could see how you could fall into the ruts if you're sleeping in too much, staying up too late because you're working from home. I still treat it as, I get up at 6 a.m., take my little doggy out. I have a puppy. I take him
Aw.
out. I get ready for my workout, whether that's rollerblading that day or my balcony is my half of Brickle sees me, doing crazy jumps and things. But that routine is what allows me to stay on track and know I have to do this, and I think just staying in my routines have really helped me. Also, staying connected. There's so much information being put out here right now, like what we're doing, but also filtering the ones that resonate with me. Because if I spent all day on Zoom calls, I wouldn't be doing my job either. So I need to be strategic what conversations from who interest me so I can tune in. But also, yeah, just staying connected with the community has been something, stay positive and know that, I'm going to get through this with everyone else.
I think that's the key, right? You have to stay positive. But I love your part about the routine. I think a lot of people, it was very easy, especially in the beginning, where you sort of felt naughty because you think, God, I'm on a vacation, I'm at home. Who's gonna find out what I'm doing? And then you finally realize, look, I need to have a routine to keep up, to stay focused, to stay on top of my business and in my game. I think the people that struggle the most right now are the ones who never found that routine. That's why
Yeah.
I do so much. I do a lot of shows every day. It's not because I have to, it's because I want to, and I like the connectivity that I get from actually being able to see another person other than my family or the people at Publix. I like being able to connect. So I think people are, if you're missing out on the connection part, you're feeling a little bit isolated too. All right, you're a joy. I cannot wait to get down to Miami and meet you and spend time with you. You are a big asset. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Tell people how they can reach out to you, Megan, if they want to find out more about the home team, especially down in Miami.
Absolutely. So you can reach out to me via Facebook. My Instagram's kind of funny. It's Miss Finky. It's MSFINKY for my last name. Also on LinkedIn. And yeah, those are the three platforms that you can reach out to me anytime. I'm someone that lives next to my phone, so I'm always getting back to people. But I'd love to share with anyone who's just curious who the home team is. If you don't know who we are, what we have, what our philosophy is, and to see if that's something that aligns with them.
Perfect. All right, Megan Fink, we did it. You were fantastic. Thank you so
And
much,
I look
Megan
forward
Fink.
to being back. I want to be a repeat person on the text show,
Absolutely.
not
We'll
just
have to do like a Miami update show. And, maybe next time I'll be in Miami Vice colors. I don't know. Hopefully we can do one in person at some point. That would
yeah.
be nice. But thank you so much. Appreciate you, Megan Fink,
Thank
everybody with the
you.
home team of Freedom Mortgage. All right, we'll be back soon.
Bye, everyone.
I'm gonna eat some tacos live, and they look real good. All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, Megan.
Bye.
Bye.